and I got a bit depth into it by doing some courses, and then I got joined with this company called DLT Ledgers, which I will cover on the later stage. To start off with, so sorry, just a second. So everyone out here has been using one of these apps or a platform for long, and been there's a very big platforms in the world. But was this platforms, or what was this internet conceived for such platforms? Then the answer is no, right? Because the entire idea of World Wide Web was to connect to scientists and universities around the world, where, because we can say that it was all about internet of information. So internet was designed mostly to for the information to pass from one peer to the other peer on the network. That was the whole idea about internet tech as when it was invented. So just so what has internet helped us in last 20 or 30 plus years is that internet has helped us in reducing cost of searching. All right, before it was difficult to search, collaborating, exchanging information and communication, right? And this is how the entire internet is currently used by us, consumed by us, right? Wherein we connect to the device through internet to a central server, and we get access to all the big platforms which is there on your screen right now, to name few. So where is the internet moved from that? Internet has moved from peer to where people are playing using the data, right? And data is the next oil, as you know, across the world right now. That's the buzzword. So internet has moved from the internet of information to a few people who are controlling our data and using it. So what has ended up with that is there is a lot of misuse in the use of data. There is no consensus or some mechanism where you can validate what you're doing, right? And there is no trust. And moreover, what has happened is that we want our data to be private, right? And to keep it with ourselves. But just paying $500, I can get all information associated to my email address. This is where we are on a personal front. This is where we are reached over a period in an internet age, right? Where our things are out of our control, right? And people are controlling the data and about us. So this is on the struggle of internet on a personal level. Now, on a
Excuse me, sir. Sorry to disturb you. Tejasvi Dada, will you please stop sharing your screen? Thank you. You can continue. Sorry to disturb you again.
no worries. So what has happened is that so what has happened in on an organization front, like on the enterprise side, right? Is that organizations are pumping a lot of money for digitizing by using ERPs and all the stuff that we call it as internal digitization, right? To make their business processes. And this is how the organization landscape looks like to big or medium or large enterprises, right? Where people are connected, there is a lot of information passing on internally, right? But when it comes, what actually internet is supposed to do is make life easy for us. But on an organization level, this is where we have the organized employees have ended up late nights and by a pile of documents and all this stuff. So the whole point in this entire organization digitization is that where there is other people who are part of that business process, or to bring that efficiency. That is the supplier, the customer, and each one in that particular business process is part of it. So whole idea is moving in an organization also to bring a external digitization, wherein the paperless business and paperless trade and paperless, so everything is moving paperless. So how do you go paperless? So to go paperless and to bring more efficiency and automation, one of the problem is the data authentication and consensus that whether this data is coming from the source and whether we can trust it. So enterprises are looking forward on bringing digitization on starting with contracts. Like when a basics of a business is like you get into a contract with someone, right? And then you provide the documents to that contract, like the performer invoice, PI or DO, SO, a lot of documents. And then the bank comes in and the freight forwarders and the shippers and logistic partners come in. So this is where the organizations are now looking at it, and this is not which is something which was initiated by them, but it has COVID-19 has really populated it, and people now are really seriously looking at a digital transformation in the company. So coming back, so now what is blockchain is what I just want to briefly cover, right? And I want to be a disclaimer that I'm not a developer. So anything related to business, we'll have a Q&A session at the end of it. So you can always, I can help you to answer. So what is blockchain? Blockchain needs internet layer, that is a TCP/IP and FTP and NCP layer, to start working on a blockchain network or building a blockchain network. So what happened is that in 2008, there is a guy, there is or there is not, but someone called Satoshi Nakamoto. He said, he came out with a white paper saying that why information only can pass to peer-to-peer, why not cash, right? So peer-to-peer, if you have used torrent or there is a lot of peer-to-peer applications available right now, before 2008 also. So he started off with this idea and he came up with a white paper. White paper is basically a research document sort of thing where it is sent out and people consent to it. So then so in 2010, Bitcoin was transacted on a public blockchain. I'll come on what is public blockchain. So Bitcoin is a digital currency. It's a cryptocurrency where it can be into any form. You can print it in a form and it can be transacted from one device to another device without any intermediary like the banks or anyone in the process. Like currently, all the transaction goes through a bank, through processing people, and a lot of efforts have been, a lot of money is wasted and a lot of time and effort is wasted. So Bitcoin was the first live use case in the world for public blockchain, as of what we know, and that was created on an application layer. And that application layer was we call it, everyone calls it as DApp, that is a decentralized application. So it gets distributed on a computing, different computers as a node, and the nodes keep on communicating with the other rest of the stuff. So then there is a blockchain layer, right, which is which is built, and on that blockchain layer, there are right now currently around 4. Even people are looking at different angles or different layers to build the stuff. But currently there are 4 of them. That is public blockchain. So, like I said, Bitcoin is a public blockchain where anyone with the keys can access it, and they can access and see the entire history and the data of the transactions. Then there is semi-private blockchains. It's like many governments, like Dubai government and many of the government in the world are using this semi-private, where they have a control, but they have a decentralized it also. Consortium blockchains are basically from banks and many shipping agencies. So consortium blockchains are like where few industry leaders come and start off, and they use it to transact themselves. Recent one was Reliance doing with petrol, Shell and Reliance and everyone coming up with a consortium. And then we have private blockchains. Private blockchains are more of an enterprise blockchain where everyone is given a permission to do certain things, and it is not open for the public. And today, next few slides, I will be talking more on private blockchains. That's where the domain I come from, right? And to develop this, these are the few developer tools currently available: Hyperledger, R3, and Ethereum, and many more are coming up. But these are the major three of them. With Hyperledger and Ethereum are open source. R3 has open source, but you need to use it to pay also. So Hyperledger is promoted by Linux Foundation. Now, what is the current situation is that there is in the world on an internet aspect is World Wide Web. So web was basically for Internet of Information, where information was can be passed on through using domains and all the different technologies. So now what we are moving into is the age of Internet of Value. So Internet value is about building trust and security so that people can do peer-to-peer transactions and can don't have to have immediate intermediaries to validate it. So the world is slowly moving to the external digitization, right? Something to wherein I have a ledger, or I have something like, you imagine like a Excel sheet which I can give to people to use, just not collaborate but consent also that they are okay with the data. So the baseline, or one of the baseline of this blockchain, is distributed ledger technology, right? We call it, we short form it to DLT, right? So what basically a distributed ledger, as I mentioned, is it's a database. It's existing in many places, and at a real time, people can use it and consent it, hash it, and make it an immutable record, so that there is a trace and track for whatever the task was done on it. So like a global spreadsheet or a ledger. And when we talk about distributed ledger, blockchain and distributed ledger is similar. It is interconnected to it. So we need both of this thing to come to a bigger picture of a blockchain. It's like something like HTML and all other things to be used to go on at the World Wide Web. So what does blockchain do? So blockchain is like you can just create your own network. You can program the blockchain to record everything and anything which has a value and importance in life. Can be a death certificate, marriage licenses, title of ownership, anything which needs to be tracked and traced, and which is authenticated by the originators, and to give more visibility and more tracking to the thing. So you can track that can express in code. So it is you can code any contract. So marriage, for example, is one of the contracts we enter into in life. It's rental agreements can be a contract which needs to be coded into a program which is called smart, we call it smart contract, which I will cover on the next slide. And then this block is created once the records are validated on by everyone. The proof of, we call it proof of work, and everyone validates it, and then it becomes into a block. And each block is connected to the other block for giving a visibility and visibility to the product, visibility to the transaction. There is some movement happening, some messages. So is someone tracking it? Like, hello?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
We cannot see the screen PPT. It's see? You are able to see?
sir.
The screen is not showing.
We can't see the screen. No.
One second.
Sir, we can see the screen, sir.
You can see.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, like I mentioned before, that currently in a business process, previous slide I mentioned about all of these parties, if you see, who are there to perform a business transaction, right? So, transportation, distributors, so they are all brought into a distributed ledger, and it becomes a decentralized place where everyone can participate into that updating the ledger on a real time. So that is where it starts with. I'm more focused on the private blockchain, that is the enterprise blockchain level, right? And then there is a smart contract created. So there is always a contract between a transporter or a distributor center or a warehouse with the originator or the person who is who starts the business process. So basically, smart contract is something which is a very fundamental of blockchain. To create a smart contract is like we were in our typewriting age. There was 3 copies to a contract or something which we used to type, and then from there we moved to a world where we have a Word file. We used to type in Word the contracts, and then take a printout and take signatures. Then we have moved to PDF, where there is digital signatures happening right now. So we are now we are moving into an age of smart contracts, where the same contracts which we are doing a digital signature can be coded into a contract, and that contract can validate if people are abiding to that contract, basically. So when we're going to a lawyer or a auditor or anyone, we go with they will be, over a period, they will be having coders to check the smart contracts. Then this blockchain helps us to do a consensus. So all network members agree to validate each record in real time. So the dependency on emails and mobile on phones becomes zero, and it is audited. So if the stock is reached the warehouse, it is audited on real time, because everyone has in this world right now has a connectivity. So the warehouse confirms it on real time rather than sending an email. And then we hash it. The hashing is a process where you can hash it through a cryptography, that is 32-bit or 64-bit hash you can create, and then we can move it to it becomes an immutable record. So once you say immutable record, no one can reverse it or can change the record, and it is connected to the previous block of records. And everything is time stamped, and there is a transaction time to be recorded and all the stuff. So anyone who is part or who has the right for that private blockchain can go and verify the time and stamp of the document. So now who is using it? So currently it is now this enterprise blockchain, and the blockchain is coming up getting the momentum now. And with COVID, companies have started adopting it. So around 50 of the world's largest companies are right now working on the contract, working on this building their own blockchain networks, right? You can just Google it, but I'll just run few of them. Walmart is using blockchain to create a food traceability. So you can pick a Walmart product and just scan through, and they can show you where it was and who the origination, like who was the farmer, which place the farm was done in. Google is using for data analytics. They're working with a company called working with Chainlink, right? Microsoft is offering blockchain as a service through Azure, its cloud platform. And Facebook is using blockchain to build a currency Libra. Nestle Europe is using it to scan a QR code, wherein on a grocery shelf you can see the organic, whether it is organic, and whether it can be useful, good for your children. Shell is, like I mentioned previously, Shell is working on multiple blockchain projects. And how then the entire, we are looking at a blockchain would transfer around 58 big industries in the world, right? That is the big picture everyone is working on. Today, first I will touch base on one product, where I am associated with is DLT Ledger. So it's a distributed ledger technology company from Singapore, and we are providing enterprise level blockchain solution to connect to the ERP systems. So to move from a distributed ledger, distributed database to connect to a distributed ledger. So what is the significance or strategic relevance to it is that we are able to bring process digitization, faster turnaround times, less risk, increased transparency, and sector-wise collaboration. So it's a journey which a lot of banks, a lot of large enterprises are taking with us, and which gives everyone in the blockchain network a visibility of what they are performing and what they can perform. So a couple of use case. So what a use case is something which is relevant to blockchain. You must be hearing a lot of people talking about use case. It's basically you need to first take a project and see if it requires a blockchain. It has to be on a blockchain network, and if yes, then you do a POC, proof of concept, and then you pilot it. So when you do a proof of concept, you need to define the use case. Where is this blockchain network will be really useful for them. On DLT ledgers, we have a model where you can be a partner. So you can be a general partner, you can be a technology partner, and a collaborative partner, where you have any project and you feel that this you want to there is a use case for a blockchain, we can connect to our platform and DLT Ledger's platform, and give the capability of blockchain capability to your clients. Or you have any project or which you feel we can be discussed and taken up. So there are three types of partnerships. And DLT Ledgers is a live platform, it's a SaaS platform, subscription as a service platform. This is the domain name for, you can visit dlt.sg. We are based out of Singapore and India, Japan, and Middle East, MENA region. So I look after the client part, client engagement with the team. So this is about me, and this is a short. I wanted to just bring a clarity on what, how, and who their blockchain is used. You can reach me on this number on WhatsApp and as well as on LinkedIn if you want more information or where I can be any help to you. The four of this website is the websites which I follow on a regular basis to keep updated with the trends, what is going on an enterprise blockchain level. And that's it. So you can, any questions if I would like to take, to which I can answer.
हो, काय सगळ्या रस्त्यात पोलीसच आहेत, सगळ्या रस्त्यात पोलीसच आहेत, सगळं बंद केलंय.
Kindly mute your mics.
Hi. So anyone having a question related to any of the slides you want me to run through, or you please be free to engage, and I can go through the slide again.
This is a question answer round, so you may unmute your mics or put your queries on the chat box.
Hello? Is there any questions? Any?
No, sir, there are no questions as of now.
Okay.
If you have any questions, then you may just unmute your mics or put your queries on the chat box.
Okay, there is a question. What is cryptographic hash, right? So cryptographic hash is where you can create using cryptograph, you can create hash, which can be a 32-bit or a 64-bit hash. So that is a very unique number, identifier, which cannot be, it's done through algorithm of cryptography, which is right now it is not, it's difficult to, break in, right? And you can just do a couple of websites and you can just practice it also. There are a couple of websites available which will, you put a, say your name, and then it will throw up a hash function to it, which will be unique to, that particular word. Did I answer your question, Aaron? On the concept of blockchain in speech recognition, say on a personal note, there are a lot of initiatives going on, Sunil, right now, for a mass adoption of this technology. But more of blockchain is currently more relevant on enterprise and governments and public blockchain. Public blockchain is majorly more of for this crypto currencies and all the stuff. So still on the personal level, there are a lot of initiatives going on, but it's still too early to, but yes, it can be used. Any concept which needs authentication or which needs a third party to say that they're fine with it, that's what we call it consensus, will have some element of blockchain to it. Did I answer your question, Sunil? Any more questions to take in?
Thank you, sir, for such an in-depth knowledge and also for enhancing our minds. This will definitely be helpful for us in our coming days. I request Priya Talwar ma'am, Assistant Professor of Computer Science Department, to proceed with the vote of thanks. Yes, ma'am, sure.
Yes. So Abhi, yes, that is the whole idea. That cryptocurrency is just one aspect, or which is started of the entire journey, like how the email started on a World Wide Web. So we have come beyond emails right now. So cryptocurrency was the similar thing which Mr. Santosh Nakamoto just came up with, and from there it has been growing, and it has been used in many fields right now. Like so that's what I meant. Around 58 businesses has been identified world over where there will be a transformation. So you can see this slide, Abhi, and these are the companies using it, right? And we are talking about 58 big industries to transform with blockchain. Did I answer your question, Abhi? Thank you. Any more questions so that we can proceed? Hello. Okay. Danish, Dhyaneshwar, right? How much time it takes to adopt blockchain tech over the world? So adoption is see the adapting to blockchain is already started off, right? People are using on different use case. Like you see my screen. So currently it is a bit expensive, to maintain the nodes and all. It is something like how internet was expensive couple of years, means like decades back. So the technology is bit expensive, so that's why large public companies are coming into the thing, and soon it will be rolled out for the consumers also. Like I said, emails were first used by corporates and universities and all this stuff, and it will gradually move to the other use cases are coming up and all. So like you see on the screen right now, all these major companies are already working on this concept. So it is like you create your own network. So today you download Hyperledger and you can start building it, but you need to host it into a node on a thing, which is why the technology is taking bit of a time to adopt. So adoption is there, like you rightly said. Adaptation is taking a bit of time, but that is how all technologies are, right? But it will take a while.
Okay,
Did I
sir.
answer your question?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay. Any more questions, please? I feel, Prakati, there is no questions. So
Okay, sir. Thank you so once again for enhancing our knowledge, and this will definitely help us in our coming days also. Now I request Priya ma'am, Assistant Professor of Computer Science Department, to proceed with the vote of thanks. I request ma'am to take over.
Yes, thank you so much, Prakriti. Good morning, everyone present here. I am honored and lucky to have an opportunity to give a vote of thanks to our today's guest, Mr. Manoj Joseph, sir. Thanks for giving your valuable time and for sharing your knowledge about the blockchain technology. Sir told we, Sir told us about what actually the blockchain is and how it is usually used in our day-to-day life. How so many businesses adopted to use the blockchain technology to continue their work during this coronavirus pandemic situation. Really, this webinar is interactive and very informative for all of us will surely helpful for us. Surely, our students will secure and implement your shared knowledge. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much, everyone who had joined. And thank you so much to our Managing Director, Kadu sir, Campus Director, Chetan Parik sir, Academic Director, Bhushan Patil sir, Principal Vajja sir, HOD of Computer Science, Sangram sir, Coordinator of the webinar, Pranali ma'am, and IQAC Coordinator, Rupali ma'am, and all our teaching and non-teaching members. Thank you so much, everyone. And over to you, Prakriti.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thanks.
Thank you, all the participants, and thank you, sir, for your time and guidance for all of us. Feedback forms will be sent on the group. Kindly fill it up and submit. I request everyone to please turn on the cameras for a digital selfie. I request everyone to please turn on the cameras.
Thank you, Rupali madam. Thank you, Priya madam. Thank you, everyone in the call. Thanks for joining.